Happy Valentine's Day to my woman. The city lights shimmered outside the window, casting a warm glow into our apartment. The table was set, candles flickering softly, and the faint sound of music played in the background. Everything was perfect. Or at least, I hoped it was. Tonight wasn't just another Valentine's Day, it was our Valentine's Day. The one I had been waiting for, the one she deserved. I stood by the dining table, adjusting the bouquet of red roses one last time, my heart pounding in anticipation. And then the front door opened. She stepped inside, her heels clicking against the wooden floor, her eyes scanning the room. And when she saw everything, the candles, the flowers, the dinner I had prepared, her breath hitched. "You did all this for me," she whispered. I smiled, stepping forward. "Of course, love. Happy Valentine's Day to my woman." She was speechless. She set her purse down, her hands covering her mouth as she took everything in. I don't know what to say," she admitted, her voice shaking slightly. "Then don't say anything," I murmured, reaching for her hand. "Just let me show you how much you mean to me." She let me pull her into my arms, resting her head against my chest. "I can't believe you did all this," she said again. "No one has ever made me feel this special before." I pulled back slightly, cupping her face in my hands. "Then let this be the first of many, my love." Dinner, laughter, and the sound of love. We sat at the table, sharing stories, laughing, and stealing soft glances at each other. She reached for my hand at one point, her fingers intertwining with mine. "You didn't have to do all of this," she whispered. "I know," I said, "but I wanted to, because you deserve to be celebrated. Not just today, but every single day." Tears welled up in her eyes, and she squeezed my hand tightly. "I love you," she said, her voice barely above a whisper. I smiled. "I love you more." A Valentine's Day to remember. As the night went on, we danced in the candlelight, swaying slowly to the music. No rush, no distractions, just us. And as I held her close, feeling her heartbeat against mine, I knew this wasn't just another Valentine's Day. This was the beginning of forever. The warmth of the candlelight flickered against her face as we swayed gently in the middle of the living room. The soft hum of music played in the background, but all I could focus on was her, the way she fit perfectly in my arms, the way her fingers clung to my shirt like she never wanted to let go. "This feels like a dream," she whispered. I tightened my arms around her. "Then let's never wake up." She tilted her head up, her eyes shimmering with something deep, something unspoken. "I don't need fancy things," she murmured. "Just you, just this." I smiled. "That's all I ever wanted, to give you moments that feel like forever." The gift she didn't expect. After a few moments, I gently pulled away and reached into my pocket. "There's one more thing." Her brows furrowed as I handed her a small velvet box. "You already did too much tonight," she protested, shaking her head. "Just open it, love." She hesitated for a second, then carefully lifted the lid. Inside lay a delicate bracelet, gold with a tiny heart charm in the center. Her breath hitched. "It's beautiful," she whispered, running her fingers over it. "Look closer," I said softly. She turned the charm over, her lips parting when she saw the engraving. "Forever yours." A single tear slipped down her cheek. "You always find a way to surprise me," she whispered. I took the bracelet from the box and clasped it around her wrist. "Because loving you will always be my favorite thing to do." A promise in the candlelight. She threw her arms around me, burying her face in my chest. "This is the best Valentine's Day I've ever had." I kissed the top of her head, holding her close. "And it's only the beginning, my love." We stood there, wrapped in each other, the rest of the world fading away. And in that moment, I knew she wasn't just my Valentine. She was my forever. She pulled back slightly, her fingers tracing over the bracelet on her wrist. I could see the way her lips trembled, how her breath hitched every time she looked down at it. I don't know how you do this, she murmured. Do what? I asked, brushing my thumb over her cheek. She looked up at me, eyes full of emotions I couldn't even begin to describe. Make me feel like the most loved woman in the world. I smiled, leaning down until our foreheads touched. Because you are my love, and I'll spend every day proving it to you. A night filled with love. The night felt endless in the best way. We sat on the couch, curled up together, as she traced small patterns on the back of my hand. Do you remember our first Valentine's Day? She suddenly asked. I chuckled. Of course. How could I forget? She laughed softly. You were so nervous. I was terrified, I admitted. I wanted everything to be perfect. And then you spilled wine all over the table, she teased. I groaned, running a hand down my face. Don't remind me, she grinned, tilting her head to the side. But do you know what I remember most about that night? What? She reached up, cupping my face in her hands. That was the night I knew I was in love with you. My heart skipped a beat. You never told me that. I wanted to, but I was scared, she admitted. But now, I'm not afraid anymore. I kissed her palm, my voice barely above a whisper. Neither am I. A love that keeps growing as the night stretched on. We talked about everything and nothing at the same time. The past, the present, the future we were building together. She laid her head against my chest, sighing softly. Every year you find a way to make this day more special than the last. That's my job, I murmured. Loving you isn't just for today, sweetheart. It's for every single day we have together. She closed her eyes, her fingers gripping my shirt. Then promise me something. Anything. No matter how many Valentine's days come and go, no matter how much time passes. She lifted her head, eyes locking onto mine. Promise me it will always feel like this. I held her closer, brushing my lips over her forehead. I promise, love, forever and always. And as the candles flickered, as she held on to me like I was her safe place, I knew this was the kind of love that never fades. The warmth of the room wrapped around us as we sat together, lost in a world that belonged only to us. The soft hum of our favorite song played in the background, the candlelight casting gentle shadows on the walls. She traced slow, delicate circles on the back of my hand, her head resting against my shoulder. I wish we could freeze this moment, she murmured. I turned slightly, pressing a kiss to her hair. We don't have to, I whispered. Every day with you feels like this. She smiled but didn't say anything, just held my hand a little tighter. The little things that made it special, the dinner, the candles, the bracelet, it was all beautiful. But I knew what mattered most to her, not the gifts, not the decorations, not the perfectly planned evening. It was us. The way I knew exactly how she liked her tea, the way she laughed when I whispered something only she would understand, the way she melted into my arms, like she belonged there because she did. Do you know why I love you? She asked suddenly. I smirked. I could take a few guesses. She rolled her eyes, nudging me playfully. I love you because you see me, she said, her voice softer now. Not just the good parts, not just the easy moments. You see every side of me, and you love me anyway. I cupped her face, my thumb brushing against her cheek. I love you because there's no part of you that isn't worth loving. A love that only gets stronger, she exhaled slowly, her eyes glistening under the dim light. You always know exactly what to say, she murmured. I don't always, I admitted, but when it comes to loving you, I never have to think twice. She smiled, leaning in, our lips meeting in a slow, deep kiss, one that spoke of every promise, every dream, every moment we had yet to share. And in that kiss, I knew this love wasn't just for today. It was for every Valentine's Day, every ordinary morning, every late-night conversation. It was forever. She pulled away slightly, her eyes searching mine as if she was trying to memorize this moment. You know, she whispered, I never thought love could feel like this. Like what? I asked, brushing my fingers against hers. She smiled softly. Like home. I swallowed the lump forming in my throat, feeling the weight of her words settle deep in my chest. Because that's exactly what she was to me too. Not just my love, not just my partner, but home. I lifted her hand to my lips, pressing a gentle kiss to her fingers. Then promise me something, I murmured. Anything, she said, without hesitation. Promise me that no matter what happens in life, no matter where we go or how much time passes, this love will always be home for us. Her breath hitched, and I saw the way her eyes softened with something deeper than just love, certainty. I promise, she whispered. A love worth celebrating every day. The night stretched on, filled with soft laughter, whispered conversations, and lingering touches. The candles burned lower, the music played on, and the world outside faded away. You know, she teased, running her fingers over the bracelet I had given her. You've set the bar pretty high for next year. I chuckled, pulling her closer. Every year will be better than the last, I promised. She smirked. Oh, and how do you plan on topping this? I leaned in, my lips barely brushing against hers, as I whispered, you'll just have to wait and see, love. And as she laughed, as she melted into my arms once more, I knew this wasn't just another Valentine's Day. This was the beginning of a lifetime of love.